Hello, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending today. We have some really cool stuff in store for you guys. The desktop app, we're really super proud of this new development, and there's some really cool technology we're going to be able to show you guys today. And I think many of you will probably end up where I've ended up now, and it's actually my preferred go-to recording app. It's beat out the Chrome extension that we've used for years in terms of my favorite recording tool. I think you guys will find the same. So, Ruben, want to kick us off?
Yeah, thank you, Darius. I remember when we first started building the Dubb desktop app, and to be honest, I was terrified because building an app specifically for PC is not an easy task because there are so many different permutations of the computer and the CPU and the RAM amount and the operating system, what version it is, what build it is. And it was daunting. And, we went through the process and we realized that, we can't give up. We have to keep pushing. We have to keep moving forward so that we can build a desktop app that, pretty much almost everyone can use. There are some caveats. We always recommend that people have, a high-powered CPU with 16 gigs of RAM. If you have too many apps open on any computer, you're going to notice some slugginess, if you will. So, keep your CPU clean. Make sure you have updated technology. Folks, let's think about this for a second. We spend $1,000 or so on one of these devices that we use, and we use it every single day. And what an unbelievable investment into ourselves, into our business, into our growth. So if anyone is, still holding on to that late 2013 MacBook Pro, maybe this is that sign you've been looking forward to update it because I know what it's like to have a slow, sluggish computer. And, I also know what it's like to hold on and have sentimental value with our technology, but at the same time, we're all here because we're innovating and we're pushing the limits. So I just wanted to thank you guys for investing into yourselves, investing into Dubb, investing your time into us. We're filled with gratitude. We've got a jam-packed agenda. Just to kind of give you guys a very quick recap of what we're going to do here. We're going to start out with our AI assistant, which is now available in the Dubb desktop app. We're going to talk about the unbelievable pause button. The pause button will change your life. It will literally release anxiety and stress and pressure from your life when you're going through the video making process. I learned a pro tip from Darius. He never hits the end button at the end of the video. He always hits the pause button, and then he goes through a mental cycle to figure out if you forgot something. So we'll talk about the pause button. The teleprompter, another anxiety stress reducer, because you can write your scripts, you can read from it, and you can still be yourself. You don't look like a newscaster. You can be natural and organic and a great communicator. Huge shout out to Rob, who actually taught me how to use the teleprompter because I was kicking and screaming with that teleprompter. I said, no way, this is not authentic, and I'm not a newscaster. No way, I'm not doing it. And now Rob will watch me and I'll practice my video and I'll do it 17 takes, and then he'll look at me and he'll say, Ruben, teleprompter. And then I'll go and I'll write, and then I'll do it. And it's a one-take situation. So the teleprompter is powerful. Best practices. We've got any mistake you've made, we've probably made it. So we're going to bring you all of our learnings on how to make this one of your most valuable resources. Best practices. Rob, maybe you could guide us through that with light and microphones and things like this. Use cases, prospecting, nurturing, closing, and then also how to make social media videos from the Dubb desktop app. Shout out to Tom Hernandez, who actually gave us this idea, who is now using it on his social media account, which is powerful. And then Ina's going to give us a pro guide on shortcuts, because there's customizable shortcuts on the desktop app so that you don't even have to look down. Like, remember how you had to look down at find your mouse and find the cursor? You don't have to do that. You can have your fingers on shortcuts, start, pause, stop videos. So let's get this thing started, Darius.
All right. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys in a second. And we're just going to talk about first, what is the desktop app and why is it different from the applications that we're using already? So that's what I'm going to start with here. Just let me get the right browser pulled up. Here we go, and share my screen. So before, many of you guys will be familiar with the concept, or maybe it's brand new, but the concept of recording your screen. So before, this was limited to the Chrome extension, where you can see my little bubble inside of Chrome, and I could record a video of myself here and say, hey, let me show you what's on this screen. And before, this had a couple of limitations. One, it was only inside of Chrome, and your bubble could only exist inside of Chrome, and your drawing tool could only exist inside of Chrome. And so this is the first thing that the desktop app has done, is broken us free of these limitations. So the desktop app, you can see I'm not going to launch it inside of Chrome. I'm actually going to launch it right from here, or even from my bottom tool tray. I can just go right here, click it, and now I can launch Dubb. And you can see what it actually is. It's a desktop version of the website. So you guys will all recognize this. This is just the website, right? It's the dashboard, but we've built this dashboard into the desktop app. So you don't need to access it through the browser. Now, this part is, of course, functional or optional, I should say. If you prefer to access it through the website, great, no problem there. But the functionality here, the first thing is on our menu, the AI tool. Don't worry, I'll get into the recordings. I'll show you guys many of the cool enhanced recording features that the desktop app does. But the first part of it on our agenda is the AI tool, because we know not many of you guys are aware of it yet. So we want to make sure you guys know that this is here. This is essentially Chat GPT. If you guys have heard of that by now, if anyone hasn't heard of Chat GPT, throw something in the chat, let us know. I believe most of us have heard of it, if not all of us at this point. But what it is it's an AI powered assistant where you can ask it. We've even preloaded it. We've made it easier to use than Chat GPT because there's already some preloaded questions in here. Write me a sales script, give me ideas on, write me a social media caption for. You can ask this thing basically anything you want, and it's going to generate ideas like, what are some topics I can create videos on to bring new customers to my real estate business? Just for example, we're all in lots of different types of businesses, but we can enter anything we want here. The more specific your questions, of course, the better the answers are going to be. And this thing is limited to essentially what you can ask it. Sky's the limit. And we can, of course, ask it to recompose a series of messages as well. So once it tells us some answers, if we're not happy with those, we can just reframe the question or have it submit a second set of answers. And depending on how specific or how long the answers is, it might take a little bit longer to compose those responses, but they will be shown here, and then you'll be able to recompose them. So this is the first part of the application. We'll come back to this guy once it's finished composing our answers and check on those. That is the first part of the app. And now, more importantly, there's so many applications for the AI. I recommend actually attending a training on ChatGPT if you guys haven't, just to really understand how to leverage the tool and realize that it's available right through Dubb. So you don't have to go wait in the queue and access it and sign up separately through ChatGPT's thing. All right, the second piece, we're actually going to now talk about the recorder itself. So a moment ago, I showed you guys the extension. And if you're familiar with that, right, you can record with your video there, but the limits are inside the browser. With the desktop app, it does not have these same limits. So this is the desktop app. You can see it's separate. And let's say I want to record my screen. So what I just did is I launched the screen recorder, and you guys are going to notice several benefits. The first thing is going to be in some of the webcam functionality. So here I can resize this bubble to any shape or size that I want. I can change it to a square, rectangle. I can go full screen and say, hey guys, this part's important. And then I can transition back to that same bubble or square, whatever shape that I need. Can also switch to the profile. So those functions you might be familiar with because many of them are on the extension, just not this one here where you can resize it like that. The other controls, these ones are a little bit different. The teleprompter is, teleprompter's coming up next. Sorry, some other ones first. Our annotation tools. On the left, you're going to notice the annotation toolbar. You can move that guy around and you'll notice some advanced annotations. So before you had a pencil, but now you can draw lines. You can put text. You can, of course, you still have the line tool. You can still draw. So more advanced annotations where you can basically annotate what you're doing on your screen, make it look a little bit more professional than just the sort of squiggly lines. So that's the other advanced tool, is the annotation improvements. The other ones here are some options for webcam selection, your microphone selection, and also unique to the desktop app is the custom size recorder, where you can actually select a custom size of your screen. We'll come back to this one later when we're talking about specific types of content, like for social media. So while we're recording, one of the most important things, as Ruben mentioned, is that pause function. So right now you can see I can press record, and in this control bar, that same buttons are going to change now to a pause function. And what I always recommend is to make sure that that pause is readily accessible for you, because anytime you're going to transition or make a change or move to the next step in whatever you're recording, I recommend, instead of, okay, doing that, you have the benefit of pausing your video, catching your breath, taking a sip of water, and then switching your slide or preparing yourself for that next piece. So I highly recommend the pause tool. A lot of people will just sort of record throughout and then go back and try to fix and trim things. That's okay too, but it's easier this way. I can promise you, I've made a lot of videos up to like 20, 30 minutes in length just using this pause function. And I can promise you it's going to make life easier to have this ready. And actually there is a keyboard shortcut. You can see with my mouse over it, it says resume with the little option key and P. And Ina's going to come back and share an option to actually change that, where we can make it something as easy as the space bar, where we can actually pause the video with the space bar while we're recording, which again makes recording much easier. It's going to take off a lot of that pressure of having to do something perfectly without messing up. You can just put your line in your teleprompter, which we're going to cover in next. Put your line in your teleprompter, read 1 or 2 lines, pause, and say, okay, I'm ready, resume, read again, pause. So pausing, again, guys, be very familiar with that function. And in fact, as Ruben mentioned, I don't end any video with the check mark. I end every video when I pause it, and then I decide, okay, is there something else that I need to add here? Is there something that I missed? What's one more thing I could do? Did I remember my call to action? Is that specific enough? Did I add in some, oh, by the way, what else can I finish there? Because there's always something else. And if you fully thought it out, then you're ready to press the check mark and upload it. So pause button, make sure you guys get that piece down. Now, teleprompter. You can see this little button for the teleprompter. And what it does, it causes the teleprompter to display up top here. If you guys aren't familiar with the teleprompter yet, what it is it gives you the ability to select, create, and then select from a script that you've recorded or written. You can actually go into the Dubb website and create these scripts. So right here in the Dubb dashboard, under assets, scripts, you can create them here. You can actually create them on the mobile app as well. And once those scripts are created, you'll be able to access them through each of the teleprompters, regardless of which application you're using. So once you select that script here, I'll put my Darius one in here. And then I will check this box to scroll while recording. That means once I press the record button, it is going to start scrolling my teleprompter automatically. And you're also going to notice the adjustment of the speed bar here. So you can control the speed of your recording or your teleprompter. So if you're a faster speaker, sort of like I am, maybe it's up on the high end. If you're not such a fast speaker, maybe slow it down to your own style. And when you press record, that teleprompter is going to begin to automatically scroll at the speed that you've designated it. Now, be aware of one thing, which is camera placement. If your camera is external and it's really far above your monitor, you're going to need to be seated farther back from the teleprompter to make it not obvious that you're reading. If you have a built-in camera, your eye line is going to be very, very close to the teleprompter, so it's really good there. But if you have an external one on like a little swivel head and it's a few inches above the monitor, you'll probably need to be a little bit back, because if I'm this close, you can tell when I'm reading from the bottom of the teleprompter. So just be aware of that limitation if you have the external webcam and it's sort of high up on the monitor. So I see some questions coming in. Don't worry, guys. We will take care of all of these. But like I said, we got a little bit of an agenda. So let's keep moving. Couple of key things for the teleprompter. Make sure that you're reading just from the top line of the teleprompter. Try to keep your eyes up here, because when you start going down and side to side too much, then it's going to be obvious that you're reading. So just try to stay in it's like reading, if you've ever done karaoke, when it puts the green in the letters, that's the part that you're supposed to sing as it's happening. So you're not supposed to sing the words down here in the bottom of the screen. You're supposed to sing the words at the top. So that's how you read from the teleprompter as well. There is a size adjustment there. So if you need to adjust your size, there's a couple other things as well. You may need to break down the lines So if you just put like one really long run-on sentence and you're trying to speak it and it's moving too quickly or too slow based on this, you may need to break them up into lines. So you might need to just rehearse once or twice with the teleprompter before you turn on the script once you've pasted it in there. Another one, make sure you enunciate your words so that you can write the words as you are going to pronounce them. So actually go through this teleprompter once and make sure it's how you speak. So don't, because if you type it out, it's going to sound sort of robotic, right? So go through it. Like you see how I added the word right after I said that? That's a very human thing. That's how we speak. And it's not necessarily exactly how you would write. So go through that script once after you've written it and make sure that it sounds like you're speaking and doesn't sound robotic, because with it typed out just like that, and if you're reading it like that, it's going to not sound as though you're speaking. So make sure that you go once over and try to add something like or gonna, like if you say I'm going to, you could say I'm gonna, and you type that in there like that. Or like you said, I said right at the end of my thing. Seems like a good idea, right? Like that's something you would maybe not type in an email, but you would say out loud. So those are the things you'll want to incorporate into your teleprompter. And then also with the teleprompter piece, I showed you guys the AI. You can literally write the script with the AI tool and place that, write me a script on this, and then place that directly into the teleprompter. So those two things sort of feed right into each other for instant content creation. If you guys don't know what we're going to talk about today, or what you're going to talk about today. Okay, here, actually, I got some, Ruben, did we share this piece with Rob? Does he have these notes?
Oh yeah. He lives and embodies this. Rob,
All right. I'm going to pass this over to Rob. He's going to show you guys some cool stuff.
All right. So this is the most important thing I'm going to say all day. Do exactly what Darius just said. All right, back over to you guys. No kidding. So it's pretty much exactly every point he made is spot on. I mean, the teleprompter from a high level, the teleprompter was made to make it easier for you. Like it really make it more efficient. Sometimes like Ruben talked about, and we all do this when we're trying to do a video. I mean, you flub lines all the time. It happens to professionals, so we're not about being perfect. We're about being imperfect. So when we're doing these videos, if you just take a little bit of time and think about what you want the video to be about and write it out, like Darius was saying, write it in your own words, how you actually speak. Then if you take that time there and you load it and use the teleprompter, it will actually save you time. So it's kind of like you're weighing the balance. If I'm trying to just go off the top of my dome, yeah, I could probably say some stuff right in the camera, do some improv stuff, know what I'm talking about, because everyone loves the topic that they speak about. The problem is you might not be saying it the best possible way you can get the message across. Like, is that the best way that you can convey the message? So when you sit there and you think about, okay, is this a prospecting video? Is it a follow-up video? Is it a client com video? What's it about? Right? Sit there and write the script, write it out. And then to practice this, something that's really good to practice. If you have a phone on you, or if you have a book, what are those? Remember books? Like if you have something in your hand, just start reading out loud. I know it sounds kind of funny, but the more you read things out loud, the more you'll enunciate and pronunciate, and you'll get used to speaking outward when you're talking. The biggest thing with this also is when you're doing the teleprompter, know your personality. If you're someone that's doesn't use their hands a lot, is not very active when they're speaking, don't all of a sudden become a different person. Lean into your personality. The one thing we do say, though, that's an absolutely technical term, and I say this all the time, smile. You got to smile. So I don't care if you're a miserable person and you sit there and you just want to make this video and you're super serious, smile, because it's the first thing they're going to see. When they see that animated GIF preview, they're seeing your smile. Also, it's important when you're writing the teleprompter scripts to keep it within how you would speak personally. So if I sent you a video, when we meet in Zoom or we meet in person, I'm going to be the same way. So those are the things you want to think about. Ira, like Darius and Ruben both mentioned, is great for coming up with ideas to brainstorm. A lot of the stuff that Ruben and I do on our social channels, with our YouTube show, Rev Show, and all our other social videos we do, we really sit down and are very conscious about, let's use Ira. Let's throw it in there. What's a good idea? What's the topic of the day? And the cool thing that I didn't know that Ruben had to show me the other day was when you put something into Ira and you hit compose, it brings you up all the content, right? If you hit compose again and don't change anything, it gives you a different version of the content. So you can keep doing that as well. So last thing I'll say is when you're doing these videos, practice the teleprompter. Just throw something in there, write the script, throw it in there, and just practice doing it. The more you do it, the easier it will be. And I promise you, it will save you time and you won't be robotic. I always tell everybody, rob@dubb.com is my email, rob@dubb. If you want to pretend I'm a prospect, send it to me. I'll give you feedback in terms of that. So there you go.
Awesome. Okay. I also want to show you guys. I know I said, hey, if you want ideas, ask the AI. I'm going to give you guys actually some specific use cases as well. Don't worry. So let's jump into that really quick. Now, there are, again, countless applications, just like the AI. Your imagination is the limit here. But I'll give you guys some solid use cases that people are actually doing in their business today. And there's some steps sort of throughout the sales cycle that we're going to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is using screen recordings for prospecting, for business development, for making new contacts. Now, everyone's, again, in a different sort of walk of life, whether it's real estate or coaching or consulting or some sort of technology sales, whatever it may be. I'm going to show you guys a couple different strategies for each. So what I have here, I'm just going to pull up LinkedIn and we're going to pretend our founder here, Ruben, is the prospect, right? He is the guy that we want to connect with. So this is just like on the Chrome extension. If you guys have seen that training before, it's not different, but similar. Oop, not our boy, Josh. Let's go back to Ruben. So we're going to pretend Ruben's the prospect. And now in this example, I would probably close my other tabs and have it just be his, but I'm going to keep those open because we're doing something. But here we go. So from there, I'm going to click record my screen, and then it's going to pull up my control bar and my video. And if I need to, I'm going to select a script. And then I'm also going to make sure that my controls are not displayed. By default, your guys aren't going to be displayed, but mine are actually visible, so you can actually see them. But with this switch deselected, you won't see the controls. And so from here, I would press record. And I would do something very simple like this. Hey, Ruben, great to connect. Just wanted to make this quick video for you. You know, my team actually produced something that I think you're going to find very interesting. I really think you will, I promise. It comes right after this. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks so much for your time. And if you are interested in what you're seeing, there's going to be some more information down below, a link to some case studies, a calendar, and of course, some contact information for myself. Thanks so much for your time. So what is that? 20 seconds, right? And then you can see here, we can preview this video before we upload it. So what I might have done differently is, like I said, close my tabs and had this sort of maximize where his page is front and center. And now the reason I'm starting on Ruben's LinkedIn profile is really important. It's because when I go to share this message with LinkedIn, with Ruben on LinkedIn, or whether it's through email, that's what he's actually going to see in his inbox. So here, let me open that up. Not the one from Rob, but right there. So you can see if I expand this, that's what his inbox is now going to look like. So whether I am on LinkedIn, or let's say if they're not on LinkedIn, maybe they have a website, then we're going to use the application on their website. The concept of using the desktop app to show something personal in the thumbnail is what the strategy is here. Now, if you're dealing directly with consumers, right, they don't have websites, they don't have LinkedIn profiles, like if you're in real estate, then I'm actually going to recommend something a little bit different. I'm still using the desktop app, but not the screen recording function, just the webcam function and the mobile app. So the mobile app, if you guys are not aware, has a really cool whiteboard feature where I can click that and I can say, hey, John. And then this is another way to easily personalize a thumbnail to make it obvious that it's just for them. So if they're consumers and they don't have websites and LinkedIn's, this is another way. You don't have to handwrite something or whatever. Easy way to do that there. So
and it won't be mirror imaged.
Right. And so this is one concept, one strategy for prospecting using video, whether it's the desktop screen recorder or the webcam. But the concept for prospecting with video is to personalize that thumbnail as much as you can. Make it something they're immediately going to recognize when they see this message. So if that's brand new to anyone, let me know. Happy to have shown you that. If it's not new, then are you doing it today? Like, what is your version of that? I'd like to hear if someone's successfully doing that. I know personally a whole bunch of people that do that very successfully. So would love to hear some feedback if anyone's got those going right now. The other piece here, use case number 2, is going to be sort of nurturing, like in our middle of our sales cycle. So we're not like we're past prospecting, right? Maybe this person's already a connection. We've messaged them once, or they're a past, like we've had a demo, we've had a call, we've had something that's happened, and or maybe in real estate, they're a lead. We talked, they're buying in 6 months or something, right? So now we need to nurture this contact. We need to provide information to them that's going to help them make a decision. So what I have here, this is going to be just a real estate report. Now, what this can be is anything that's pertinent to your industry. So if you're in any professional service, it's very easy to find a market update, some interesting insight from your industry, right? Whether it's a coaching or consulting or literally anything you're in, having your finger on the pulse of the market of whatever's happening is going to be to your benefit. And then sharing this information with your audience is going to be to both of your benefits, because then they get information and insight, and then they get to see you as the expert. So what I have here is just a generic sort of Sacramento housing market report. And the lazy person is going to put a link in their blog post and say, hey guys, check this out. Or, in their post, check out this report. The better idea, what's actually going to position you as the authority, is to instead record yourself on this report. And again, I know I'm showing a real estate report here. Just for time's sake, let's imagine this is your industry's report. So I'm going to click my record screen. And here again, I'm going to adjust my bubble. We're in a sort of square, like a square, and I don't know, maybe a rectangle here for this one. I'm going to go right at the top. And this is going to be a wide screen video. And there was another type of video, which we talked about, which is the social media, the 916. And all you actually have to do is there's two options for that. One, you can just squeeze your browser in just like that. Now I'm going to make a 916 vertical video for social. So I can either squeeze it this way, or I could even crop to a 16:9 format and post it this way as well. So either way, I usually would just squeeze the window, but you can also use the custom size in case there's something you don't want to record. But this is, again, a second type of video where I'm going to come in, press record, hide my controls. Sorry, Zoom's in the way. I'll move the controls a little bit more, but I'd hide my Zoom thing. So I would come in here and I would say, hey guys, let me tell you about the Sacramento housing market. So home values have actually decreased 15% just since, anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but you get my point. Is this is your opportunity to provide visual insight, something that's more than just a talking face, actual market insight to whatever industry you're in. And again, that's going to position you as the authority, as the thought leader, as someone who's like, wow, this guy knows his stuff. I didn't even know that, and I'm an expert in this field. So this is why we're going to create content like this, and this is how we're going to create this type of content. So whether you're doing cool stuff like the Instagram Reels, the vertical style stuff that I'm showing you here, or we're just trying to create a traditional YouTube video or a LinkedIn post or a Facebook post, and it doesn't need to be sort of vertical style, we can just stretch out the screen to the regular size as well. So those are, and let me cancel that custom size one. Those are the ways that we can use the desktop app to create lead nurturing content. It can also be used for lead prospecting, business development, right? You put something out on social and there can be a form beneath that post to capture the content. That's a little bit different training though, because we're just going to focus on the recording part of it for now. But adding a form beneath this type of content is how we actually generate business from creating this content. And of course, when you take this and share it with your audience, that's going to keep you top of mind. That's going to help nurture your deals. And this is how we're creating content for that lead nurturing step right in the middle. Now, I have one more example for you just to continue on chronologically here. Bottom of the sales funnel, right? Our closing phase, where we've done a demo, we've met with them, we've talked to them, we've presented all the information to them, and now it's a choice to make a decision. A lot of us have proposals in our business, contracts, final things to send over. And this is absolutely something we should be recording. So what I have here is just sort of a generic invoice, but this can be anything. This can be a contract. It can be a proposal. It can be anything that we're trying to get them to finalize, where if you were belly to belly, right, and you were able to talk to them and walk them through this and make them feel comfortable about it, which you should be doing, this is where you can do the next best thing. So I'm going to pull this invoice up, press record, turn on my annotation tools, And then I'm going to say, hey guys, I just wanted to take a moment and break this invoice for you. So the first thing is it's due 23 years ago. So we're way, way late on the invoice. But the second thing I want to show you is this $100 adjustment. So you guys are saving $100. We're just 23 years late. So if you have any more questions, contact me below. Anyway, you get my point here is that we can create this visual and walk them through as if we were in person instead of needing to send this and then hope that they viewed it or understood it, or having them call us and say, hey, I need to talk about this, or walk me through it, or can we meet in Zoom, or this is a way to save that step. And if you're just sending proposals already, this is a way to take 30 seconds to a minute. And there's actually a stat out there that says something like proposals sent with video have like a 30% higher conversion rate, because that's like the immediate, hey, I'm ready to go, versus, okay, let's jump on the call and work these things out, or I have these questions. But this is the bottom of the sales funnel, your proposal, your contract sort of phase. And these should be videos as well. I mean, if you're in person, that's great. But if we're trying to do things virtually or at scale or places where we can't meet, this is a great, great backup. So there's 3 use cases throughout the sales process where we can use the desktop app and screen recordings to prospect, business develop, nurture, and of course, help us close more deals for more revenue. So that's that piece. I saw a ton of questions in here. I wanted to maybe take a look, but let me take a look at our agenda here really quick. Let me cancel that and stop my share. Sorry, I keep canceling the recording. I forgot to stop it. There you go. All right. Let me see what's next.
I actually shared a number of links in the chat, which is sort of our recommended gear. And, take this as a public service announcement that the gear is not what it's about. It's about the story. It's about you. It's about being present. Your imperfect video is so much better than your competitors' perfect video that they never recorded, because perfection doesn't exist. Chasing perfection, if we really analyze that, it actually comes from not a totally healthy place. It's a voice in our head. It's someone that says something has to be absolutely perfect. It's unattainable. The whole idea of authentic video creation is that we are who we are, and our background looks like this, and this is how we look. And sometimes our hair is not perfect, and sometimes our audio is not perfect, and sometimes the light is not perfect. Of course, we can invest into our technology. We can have a good microphone like the Blue Yeti or the Blue Nano. If we want to spend a little bit more, we can get the Shure USB mic. That's $250. Totally not necessary. We can get a nice front light source. In my case, I have a window. And then I also have an LED light that was less than $100. The ring light that I put in there is a really good one. The webcam that we recommend is the Logitech Brio. That's the one that we've had the most success with. There's some other great ones. We tend to invest into the name brands just because we buy so much gear and we use it so much that we have seen, some of the non-name brand stuff just get degraded a lot faster and just end up getting, recycled. So it's worth sort of making the investment. If there's any questions on tech or best practices, we're here to support.
We got one more piece. Ina, you want to take the floor and show us the shortcuts? I remember I promised you guys earlier, I was going to show you an option to add the pause button as your shortcut for your desktop app. And again, Matthew, thank you for that excellent question. Can we open multiple tabs? And that's what I always do. Get my tabs ready, get your windows ready, and then in between each window, just tap the pause button. And we're going to show you now how to program that as your space bar. So it couldn't be any easier. Ina?
Yeah. So first, of course, open up your desktop app and then go to your preferences. Then from here, go to your shortcuts. Then you can, in this section, you can change the shortcut for starting and confirming recording. And in this portion, you can change this default to your spacebar. So from this point, you can just record your video, put your hands in the spacebar, and then click that for pause. Yeah.
So to change it, what you did is you just clicked on the controls and then you press the spacebar, right? And that programmed it as the spacebar.
Exactly. That's right.
And then all you have to do is close this menu, and then now your desktop app is programmed to pause with the spacebar. And remember, this will only work while you're recording. So it won't take over other functions. Just be aware while the app is running, your space bar won't do other things. So you're like, why isn't my space bar working when I'm trying to type? Well, it's because it's going to be starting and stopping your video if the desktop app is running.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right on.
All right. Well, there is a little bit more to everything here, right? There is the complete website function on the desktop app, which we don't need to cover the nuances there. But we have covered the main function of the desktop app itself. Two types of videos, your screen recorder and your webcam, both have the teleprompter available. So I encourage you guys to access that tool whenever you're ready. Practice the runs like Rob mentioned, get your rings in or get your dry runs through. And then when you have it down, then you're ready to use the teleprompter. And I can promise you it gets easier and easier each time you do so. Just like every other video, everything in general, it always gets easier as you practice. Okay, so let's see here, guys. What do we got for questions? Anything we can take care of you for? Okay, what do we got?
Yeah. First off, let me turn on my camera. Hello, everybody. My name is Metro.
Hey, buddy.
This is unreal.
Nice.
Like our organization, I work for Kimberly-Clark as an account manager, and now I'm moving to the national role.
Right on.
And I got chill bumps because we went through. I know that we're on time here, but we went through sort of a training internally with the company, and I use it for a basic. This is stupid. This is unreal, especially when you went to the LinkedIn page. I had so many ideas that popped in my mind. I was like, man, I'm moving into this new role. This is a great way to connect and build some rapport from the, just to start with.
Got it.
And so I think, I don't know which version I have because I don't have the app, and I'm looking, I even typed in the global search for like screen recording. I went over here to the assets. I saw the script, but I have a teleprompter that's right in front of me. Yeah. Which I can use sometimes. I'll just load up like a PowerPoint slide and I'll just read through it. Yep. But how did you do that where you were able to have yourself? I'm sorry,
guys. Thank you for saying that. I talked to Ruben right before we did this. I was like, I think I should cover the install first, and then we didn't put it in the outline, and so I just totally forgot it. So we're gonna cover the installation of the Dubb desktop app here, guys, to wrap up real quick, and then we will open it back up.
Hey, Darius, this was like a Tarantino film. We start with the
we start with the end and then we go to the beginning. So here we go, guys. Let me. I'm going to uninstall the version that I have. By the way, guys, if you have installed the desktop app previously, like a week or more ago, go ahead and remove it right now. Move it to trash and come download the latest version. So this is how it works, guys. Point your browser to dubb.com/desktop-app.
And then for PC users, you're going to want to go to the control panel and then select uninstall applications, and then make sure you just uninstall it completely.
Right. Yeah. So PC or Mac, the install is a little bit different.
Now the fact that our company had the enterprise install this, am I going to screw something up where I got to call my IT desk and be like, hey, this thing isn't working?
If you can install it, just let us know. Shoot me an email, buddy. We'll get on hook with KC team over there, and we'll get everything taken care of.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
But yeah, Mac or PC version, guys, here, click on the appropriate version. It's going to move a little down. Installer here, you can see in the bottom of my browser. Open that package up. It's going to be a little bit different for PC. It doesn't look like a drag and drop. It says install, and there's going to be a little progress bar. So you'll do that. And then the application will be installed. And when you open the application, for you guys, it'll be your first time. It'll say, do you want to open this? Are you sure? And then it will also be asking you several permissions. Each sort of pop-up will be separate. It says, give access to your camera. Yes. And it gives you access to your camera. Give access to your microphone. Yes. Give access to your microphone. It's going to actually skip it once it finishes the install here, because I've already previously granted permissions.
And we went through the process of getting this verified by Apple. So this is a certified desktop app by Apple, and it's also available in the Mac store. A lot of companies like Zoom and Slack, they actually encourage people to use the direct download link, like what we're doing here. And the reason why that's the case is because you can select automatic updates if there's updates, which we're actually doing very frequently. So if there's any specific reason why you need to use the Mac store, you can do that on a Mac. But we do encourage you to do the same thing that Slack and Zoom does, which is to use the direct link here.
The last step it's going to ask for, sorry, I see a question, just one moment. The last step it's going to ask for is, if you're on a Mac, you need to access your screen recording permissions. So you need to go into system settings under privacy and security, and then under screen recording. And then you'll need to make sure Dubb has permission there. Also, depending on how strict your privacy or settings are, you may also need to ensure that the camera and microphone, like if you denied the permissions when it asked for them, this is where you can return those back on. So that would be the final step on Mac. On PC, it's usually done for you. All right. Once the application is installed, you're going to see this little menu. And if you're on a PC, like if I close this menu, usually in PC, there's a little bottom control tray over here, and there's a little upward arrow. And behind that upward arrow, you will find the Dubb icon, and you can add it as a shortcut to your tool tray like I have here. And when you click it from the tool tray, it'll open up the launch pad here where I can record my screen or webcam or open the dashboard. And if that's closed, I can also access it from the top menu here. There's a little shortcut there where I can also record just the screen or webcam. So that's how you will install and launch the application. If you don't find it here or in your shortcut menu, maybe it's not launched. You'll just go to your Windows or Finder, go to applications, and then launch it from there, and it'll open the menu for you here. It will also ask you to sign in for the first time. So if you're logging in, it'll ask you to sign into your main Dubb account. It'll open your default browser. So if your main browser is Chrome and you're logged into Dubb there, it'll automatically log you in. If your main browser's Microsoft Edge or something and you're not logged in there, you'll need to log into Dubb one more time. Okay, so that is the full installation of it as well. And we, again, started with the beginning and then, put the beginning in the end here. Okay, so
bubble size
from KC team as well. Like I said, shoot me an email, Darius@dubb.com about the team permissions, and then we can open it up over there if they're not allowing you to install the device locally.
It's installed. I think it just installed.
Right on.
And originally, I'm sorry, I'm just excited about this guy. So I know everyone else was on the call, but it's about me right now.
Nice.
Let me see here. Well, okay, here it is. No, I think it's installed. Maybe it's still thinking about it. The hourglass.
Yeah. Give it a moment to load up, and then you'll find it in applications. All right,
Okay.
let me answer a couple more of these questions here. So, where do we get the Dubb desktop app? Hopefully, that one was just answered. I hope that it was. And let's see here. There was a couple other good ones.
Custom bubble size. Changing the bubble size.
This one's really cool on the desktop app because it's the most customizable we've had so far, where not only can you change the shape, you can see right here below the controls for the shape, but then all you have to do to change the size is drag your cursor to the edge of the bubble and you can customize it that way. So whatever size you want would be available. Good. What else we got? Challenge. Bit of a challenge to capture the links from the chat. Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah. Zoom makes that hard. Good. Okay. What else? Okay, guys. Yeah. What else do we have? Any other questions on the desktop app? Ideas, application. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't know, we do host the live training session every single weekday at 10 a.m. So if you want to come talk and explore with the tool and come say, hey, I was trying to do this or trying to do that, Ina just put the link for that again in the chat. If you're having trouble clicking it, it's pretty short, just dubb.com/T. And that's every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So if you guys need support or want to just talk about anything, come talk to us there every day, every weekday.
I also wanted to introduce Russ Johns, who's in the house. Russ Johns comes to us as a Dubb pro coach and an all-around wizard of all things Dubb. He's been through the entire process. Basically, he's been on the journey with us and since the earliest days of Dubb. So, Russ, if you could please share your booking link or your website, so that people can book a time with you. If you guys need help setting up the desktop app, if you guys need help setting up automations or creating a workflow, creating a system, creating landing pages, whatever you guys need help with, connect with Russ. He is a pro coach. Once again, we totally recommend him, and he's awesome. So, and if you want him to actually email you, please just send him your email directly in the Zoom chat. You can just select his name in the Zoom chat, Russ Johns, and then just provide your email address, and then he can follow up. And then, of course, also is going to be his link.
Yeah, actually, I was reading back on the comments to share. What about a listing description? Again, a perfect use case of that. I actually have, we're going to have probably someone on our training, real estate trainings later this week that'll be showing exactly that's what they're doing in their video. They go to a listing or a home evaluation, and they're actually doing a recording of that home breakdown and sending that. So exactly, whatever information you can find that's going to be specific for your audience and share that information. That's all we're doing here, guys, is showing that, look, I know what I'm doing. Don't you think so? That's all essentially at its core is saying, look, I'm an expert in this. Because, these guys, these days, people aren't sold to pressure sales anymore, right? Like nobody wants that anymore, at least not everyone that I know. Nobody wants cold calls and to be hammered and stuff like that. But what everyone wants is a consultative approach. They want a consultant that feels like this person can help me because they know my problem. They understand it. They know their business. They understand that. So that's the person that people are looking for. And they're going to find that person when you put yourself out there, right? And when you're putting yourself out there in better and interesting and different ways than your competition, you're instantly putting yourself above everyone else that's not doing this. As Ruben mentioned, the imperfect video beats your competitor's non-existent one every single time. So yeah, it's an obvious win. And especially with the way things are trending, guys, right? Look at the AI trend, look what's happening there. And there's going to be all this content that's produced by AIs, that's robotic, that's missing this human element, right? An AI can generate you a blog post in 3 seconds, but what is that missing? It's missing you as the expert, as the consultant. Nobody wants to do business with the AI. They want the AI to do things for them. And so that's, again, where you're separating yourself from this stream of income or this stream of content that's about to start happening. More and more AI generated stuff is going to be out there, and we need to differentiate from that. We need to put ourselves out there and say, look, I'm the human part. I'm the part you actually want to do business with. So again, another trend, look at TikTok, look at short form video, right? People are consuming more and more video. The amount of video consumption is only increasing every day. And the amount of people's preferential treatment toward video consumption is increasing. People are becoming more accustomed and more attuned and they prefer video content versus written out long form content. There's always going to be the people that want to read, but trending topics is where we need to stay in front of. So differentiate yourself and get comfortable now, because the better we develop this skill, the more it's going to help us in the long run. So I think that's all we got for today, right? That's the full agenda.
Is there a recording of this?
Yeah, this whole thing's been recorded. You got it.
Okay, awesome. And how do I
wanted to share just one or two very quick things here. Okay, so the first thing, Darius, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, how about now?
Yep.
Okay, so I just want to reiterate a couple of things here. Number one is that people ask us for this, and it's a great little use case on how you can generate social media content, okay? So what you do is you select the record screen option, and then you select the custom canvas size. And if you'll notice here, what I did was I crunched my browser into a mobile width, which is like a vertical video, right? So if you've been struggling to figure out what to put on social media, it doesn't have to be a video of your face. Now you can turn the webcam, you can do person in the bubble thing, which is what we call it, but I can just crunch this canvas size to this, turn my webcam on, adjust this here a little bit, move it wherever I'd like. And then now all of a sudden I have the ability to record a video in vertical format and then download it as an MP4, which I can put on my social channels, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. For those in the room that are generating social media content like this, you know what I'm talking about. It is the absolute best way to generate warm, qualified leads while spending the least amount of money, because those social networks, they need us, frankly. For every 5 organic posts that there are, a social network like Facebook or TikTok gets to put an advertisement. So those companies are dependent on us. They need us to generate organic content like this. And as a result, we get massive amounts of visibility. So if anyone has, Rob, I noticed that if you could share your new TikTok channel, which is awesome, some of Rob's great cartoon work. He gets 800 views on his first video on TikTok, which is powerful. So imagine what you can do if you're consistent with that. If you do that every single day, it gets unbelievable in terms of what you can generate, right? I don't know about you, but I'm sort of tired of hearing those people that have generated 100,000 followers on social networks and never have to worry about generating inbound leads. They just come to them naturally because they've got 300 videos out there that are like an army of 300 sales reps. They're constantly connecting with people. They've cloned themselves effectively. They're creating that parasocial relationship where the person can see them, feel them, hear them, trust them, and then click on the link in the bio. And then, of course, we've solved that with the Dubb link in bio option, which maybe we'll share in a different video, but you can search the web on that. The other thing I wanted to very quickly share was this idea that if you have been wanting to generate content for YouTube, you can use the Dubb desktop app and you can actually upload directly to YouTube. So we have a direct integration with YouTube. So if you record a video with the Dubb desktop app or the Dubb mobile app, the Dubb Chrome extension, with the Dubb mobile app, you could do multiple clips. That video can be automatically uploaded into your YouTube account. So if you've been trying to figure out a way to generate content for your YouTube account, maybe this is your method. And then going back to that unbelievable pause button, you can make it dynamic. You can switch from webcam to screen. You can change your webcam size. You can even change your webcam to have a different angle. Maybe there's a side angle, maybe there's a front angle. What you've effectively done is figured out a way to create a studio so that you can record content for your YouTube channel. You don't need an editor for this. Editor is optional if you want one, but you technically don't need one. And that's powerful because ultimately, at the end of the day, YouTube, social networks, that's what's going to give us the visibility that we're looking for. YouTube is the world's second largest search engine, and it probably at one point, unless AI takes it, it will be the number one search engine. The other thing I wanted to just very quickly mention was that we encourage you to use Kyra. Kyra is our artificial intelligence reaction assistant. And what this does is that it shows you and gives you real-time feedback on how you're communicating. So I think I'm sharing my right screen here.
Yes.
Okay. So this is an analysis on the video that Darius recorded for me. This is all using Kyra here. And you notice, he's a very empathetic speaker. He says, you, here, your, these are good, really good words when it comes to being empathetic and connecting with people. Persuasiveness, I love, repetition. Sometimes we have to repeat ourselves. Hey, no slang, no profanity, and no jargon. So, we recommend doing this type of self-awareness work with your videos. You can learn a lot from this technology. We've spent so much time to figure out ways that you can improve your communication. And Kyra is a great one. To access this, just go to any video page, click on analytics, and it will be the first thing that you see here. You might have to click a generate button at the top. But once you do that, you will see this video, and you can do it for any video. And actually a pro tip in your presets is you can automatically configure it to have every video automatically generate captions, which of course will populate this type of data. The other thing I was going to recommend is that when you record a video with the Dubb desktop app, there is a button to download the file as an MP4 file. So this is a very new feature. And this is just another way to, again, mine videos for social media, mine videos for YouTube. If you have some larger editing project that you want to work on, you can do that. If you want to take something and trim it or do some editing in Adobe Premiere or a free editor online, a web-based editor, whatever you'd like to do, you can download that MP4 and then of course re-upload it if you so choose. A final pro tip that I'll recommend, which is this, I'll admit this is a little bit of a maximalist thing. So, tread lightly on this one, but the Dubb desktop app does work with multiple webcams. So if you want to have two, I have 3 webcams, believe it or not, on my desk. So what I kind of do is I can toggle between those webcams. Let's see if I'm able to do that here. So you can notice I have different webcams here. and that'll just give me a different angle based on my light source. So thank you guys so much for attending this webinar. We're so psyched to have this support and to see you guys get the results that you so deserve. Once again, you guys are the best part of Dubb, and thank you so much. Any questions? We're here. We got 5 minutes, so fire up the chat and we will address every single one.
Where's the video recording going to be?
Oh, YouTube. We'll share the link.
Yep, we'll send it with everyone that registered. And
Dubb King, by the way, please email me if you can. Okay, Dubb King, thank you so much.
You guys are awesome, man. Thank you. This
Absolutely.
is cool.
Can you edit the captions? Yes. So you can edit the captions. In fact, every device, I'll take over the screen real quick here, Ruben.
Thanks,
every device has the option to edit your captions built in. So right here is the captions that are automatically generated by the account. And if you download that SRT file, in fact, there's a little note right here. It says to edit this file, open it on Notepad on Windows or Text Edit on Mac. Those are both native applications on your computer. So if you're on a PC, it's Notepad. And if it's on Mac, it's the Text Edit. It's really important to, I have an article here. So if you guys want to watch the full article, just search for captions or editing captions in the chat. And there's a nice little article showing that piece. Sorry, I got to move the Zoom controls here again. So right there, guys, in our little bubble, edit captions, move that again. And there's a nice article, captions. And right there, how to generate and edit them. And there's one that shows that there. Here's a video showing how to edit captions. And that's me breaking down the long version of what I'm showing you here. So download that file, make the edits you need to make. And then when you save it, make sure you just save it. Don't save as, because when you save as, it's going to change to like a text file or something else. You need to make sure it stays an SRT file, because the difference is an SRT file has the timestamps along with it. A text file is just the text itself. So when you download the SRT, open it with Notepad or Text Edit, edit your captions, and then just click File Save. Don't save as. And that way it'll still be an SRT. And then you can just re-upload the new SRT and it'll fix the captions there. And I believe the question was, will it fix or will it change the Kyra's analysis? And then yes. So when you change the captions, I believe it will. Or if you re-upload a new video, it'll do it each time.
And this is also another, Darius, if you could show that download option, the download TXT option.
Yeah.
I just wanted to reiterate that, when you record a video on Dubb, it automatically transcribes if you have that setting turned on. So one of the most powerful things, which most people actually don't know about, is that you can download a transcription in a text format. This is not a technical SRT file, which a bunch of time code, which is basically unreadable. It downloads it as a text file. So think about the possibilities here. If we want to convert a video to a blog post or an article or something like this, you can record the video and then have maybe an assistant go in through the transcription and then convert that into a blog post or convert that into some high value asset, maybe an ebook, right? Video first is what we always believe in. So this is a great use case. Another pro tip that I forgot to mention before is that one of the things that I always try to remember to do is to say what I want to say and then actually show what's on the screen. And the reason why I think that just works for me is because if I'm doing something on the screen while I'm talking, what happens is I inadvertently start stuttering, or I flub my words, or I kind of don't know what I'm saying. And it might feel like it's good for me, but when the other person hears me talking, they can kind of tell that I'm distracted. So I always like to say what I'm going to say and then show it maybe with just a couple of words just to sort of reiterate. And then maybe say it again just to kind of recap it. So that's kind of a little bit of a pro tip, but this is a case-by-case scenario. Just whatever works for you is what we recommend.
Awesome. All right. What else do we got? Francois, when you downsize your browser for Reels recording, do we need to adjust the screen portion from the app, or does it only record the downsized browser? Yeah. So when you're recording, you're going to record just the browser itself. So yeah, you don't use the full screen recording. Let me show you. So yeah, if we're going to do a crunched browser, then we need to either record. There's again, multiple ways to do that. I could use the extension to record that guy in the crunched browser mode. And then that would be a 916 video, or I could use the desktop app and then select that size of it crunched in. And that way it only records what I have selected. You can also record a specific window. So when I go to record, let me open up this one here. So I can record. Right. Oh, so yeah, no, there was an option for a specific screen, an application. But no, for now, you'll just do the custom size on that 916 format. And that way it won't include anything else. Yes. You're welcome. Okay. What else we got?
I see a question here. Can you edit the captions? We already answered that. There's a support article. Ina, I think you shared the link for that in the chat. And then does that affect the Chira analysis? The Chira analysis is generated at the time when the transcriptions are generated. So if you want to do another Chira analysis, you'd have to re-record the video and then upload it again, because it will not reprocess it because it's of the video, not of the text.
This is a good one too. Brian Totter. For Reels and Shorts, what do you recommend for the appearing text in most Reel videos? So those are actually native to the application. They will automatically pick up the text that you're saying in your voice and provide you those sort of automatically appearing captions. So those are usually what I recommend for if you're on Shorts or Reels or TikTok. They'll include their own little burned in captions, and you can customize those there. So that's what I would usually recommend for those. Whereas the AI access to the desktop, so that's actually going to be on the full desktop dashboard. So if I'm on the short menu, like the quick launch menu piece right here, I can click open dashboard and the AI tool is there. Or if it's closed and this is closed, then I can click down here to launch that menu and open the dashboard. So Francois, it's going to be here from the quick launch menu. Yep. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for attending today. We appreciate you guys as always. You're the most important part of Dubb, and we can't thank you enough. And if you guys need any support, again, I want us to be known as the software company with the best customer service out there. That's my goal. So that's why I'm there every single day at 10 a.m. to talk to you guys. And that's why we are on live chat under 10 minutes, right? Go to the chat. It's very, very fast response times. So I want that to be our motto here. You know, no one else is going to give you better customer service. You don't get to talk to the founders and do cool stuff like with this. So we want you guys to experience that.
And if anyone out there would like to generate a case study with us, we'd love to meet with you one-on-one in a Zoom and understand how you're using Dubb and what kind of results you're getting. And we'd love to build a testimonial and a case study from you. It's a good way to get some exposure. We publish it on our website, and it's kind of a relationship building thing as well. So if there's anyone that's interested in that, to build that case study, that testimonial with us, you'll get to meet us, and it's kind of a cool process. We'll give you some consulting as well. Please put your email in the comments, and you can just put it towards me or Ina or Darius or Rob, and we'll get in touch.
We'll see you next time.